All right. Audio check 1 2. Right off to the races. We're trading the lunchtime macro today. Lunchtime, I'm eating lunch, and we're gonna see if we do anything good today. When it comes to levels, this is a bit odd here, leaving these relative equal lows here. Okay. That is definitely odd. This was first presentation in fair value gap after 9 o'clock. New York FP. New York. It is what, 5.7. Looking at this fair value gap here. Let's see how it trades. Sell side liquidity right here. This is minor sell side. Sell side liquidity. And right now we're currently just only pushing up. Here's the 1 hour dealing range. I think today's gonna be a continuation day. But we're gonna try to play it safe. Because we've been in a bullish run. Lunchtime is something that we can take. I'm waiting for a first presentation after we pierce these highs. This might be it actually. In 45 seconds, I want to see this stay open, and then we'll see how we kind of react to that. If we're in a continuation pattern, these are levels that we can possibly take, but of course that has to retrace first before pushing higher. So we're going to be using the lunchtime effect card. Do we have any quadrants here? No, we have nothing. We have absolutely nothing. We're at all-time highs right now. All we have is this with us from a trading perspective. So ultimately, this fair value gap, minor sell side. This is also sell side liquidity here. And let's see how it's going to react. This fair value gap held nicely. If we can have this invert to the upside, that might be like a nifty. Sell side macro, it takes sell side to the downside. We're in all-time highs right now, but About to see. It's not really holding up here. We're seeing a push lower. I'm going to see how this candle closes here, but I am liking this little short here. All right, and a small short. At minor sell side right here, quick 1-to-1. Nothing crazy. My stop's above there. And then we want to see this reach to this minor sell side here. My entry was actually like I guess a 1-to-1. A bit more, 1.3-to-1. But this kind of reaction I'm liking that first presentation after we pierced that first hourly range high, it really failed to push higher, and that's gonna be confidence that we're at least gonna take out this minor sell side here. First trade of the day. Let's see how it goes. Because we're at all-time highs and the overall trend is bullish here, I have no confidence in extending lower. This is just a lunchtime retracement here to the sell side. This right here is going to be fair value gap that forms to the downside, which is good. Let's see your respect, and then again, the big negative that you're trading here when it comes to lunchtime macro is we're trading all-time highs here. Crazy bullish pattern, but again, lunchtime macro usually takes away from individuals from the morning. I don't want to see any bodies close above the mean threshold of these two candles here. So far, it's looking promising. We had a shift in market structure too to the downside here. So, and apologies for eating, but I'm just really hungry, guys. So our stop is right above the bearish breaker here on the downside. All-time highs, picking out a high. Right now we're entering a macro as well, 1051. So we'll see if this decides to push lower. And that is not looking good. I'm not liking how that closed that candle there. But we'll see if it wants to revert. But I think as of right now, the trade may be over in any second now. Hopefully the second fair value gap here, it holds price down, but most likely I'm going to get tapped out for -1 here. Here's one of the biggest risks trading all-time highs is, it looks like I'm still in by 1 tick. My stop's a bit lower. On M and Q, it's a bit different here. But we will see here. Maybe we printed the high right there on that swing high. But again, I'm not liking how any of these candles are closing here. So 10% chance of it hitting target at this point, but we'll stay in here. Too much bullish pressure here. All right, so -1, which is okay. So we had a couple of confluence factors. Again, all-time highs was the big one, but that first presentation after that 1 hour break, it looks like. All right, what a push to the upside here. So went lower, fake market structures to the downside, grabbed some intermediate liquidity, and then it pushed higher here. So again, we are generally bullish. Again, all this here is minor sell side here, but it looks like price is going to be pushing to the upside here. I'm going to see how it reacts to this level right here. But then ultimately, with us being wrong on our bias of lunchtime, it is still lunchtime right now, technically. But this is a fairly aggressive push higher. This could be possible targets here to the upside. So as of now, we shall wait. We can see this as a bullish order block right here. One big order block on the 1 minute. And we've been pushing up all morning. Do we have any news today? Forex Factory, let's see. No news today. So let's be a bit more patient here with the second trade here. It's creating a lot of fair value ups here to the upside. Again, I wouldn't see this as an entry here myself. Because price could possibly go to the second fair value gap here, use this bearish order block here, and then push off it once more, pushing into the 0.5 range. But again, what's throwing me off here is just these relative equal lows on the one minute. Pierced away. It used first presentation today very nicely to go to the upside. And right now, most likely, it might be indefinitely just pushing up. But this is kind of the biggest risk with all-time highs is you do not have any reference points in terms of anchoring your stuff to the downside. So I'm seeing how it's going to react to this fair value gap here. But this right here was, taking a long off this, that would not make sense. Just putting my stop loss in an area where it wouldn't get touched. I wouldn't have an area personally, because we're so extended from a bullish perspective. So I'm going to have to wait for price action to give me something more. Okay. And usually my rules when it comes to risk is if I take a loss on the first one, I drop the half risk for the second one until I get back to break even for the day, and then I start trading regular risk again. That is the easiest way to prevent massive drawdowns and blowing accounts. So we're still in the macro right now. Sell side has never been taken here. You can see the bodies are just wicking into the second fair value gap. Again, this would only work out assuming price is ultra bullish and is going to keep pushing up, and you might be able to squeeze it 3.5 to 1 here. But as of right now, what to do here? 5 minute looks bullish. This would be such a poor trade if I were to take it. The bodies are staying on the lower half of this fair value gap here. It's 11 o'clock. Technically, lunchtime happens from 11 to here. I am going to try to take a little small short here. If we see this break into the upside, that's going to be a no-go. Then we'll see if it wants to drop back down towards these lows here. Again, keeping risk tight here. We'll see if price wants to send lower. Again, I'm expecting for this lunchtime macro to kick in while trading all-time highs. I'm liking how we start breaking the second fair value gap here. We are entering this zone right here, the first presentation after we broke the highs. I'm going to move my stop loss to break even right now. I do not want to see it come back up here. Stop loss to break even. The reason why, because all-time high trading, you just don't want to see it come back higher. And then at this point, we are seeing if we can hit these relative equal lows, which is technically sell side liquidity. Again, I'm not playing any retracements here to the upside because there's a really high chance if it doesn't just drop here, we're offside, right? We're entering the zone here that we used previously. But again, I wasn't liking it too much. Again, usually my stop loss would not be in a level like this, but all-time high trading. It's a 50-50 now that it could turn around from here and push higher, or it's going to drop down lower and take sell side. So I'm okay with both approaches. Let's see how this fair value gap here responds. It's the first one created after we broke the highs. Hopefully the bodies stay within the lower half here and we use it as an inversion to push lower. If we do, I will scale in a bit. That was a nice close. I liked how we created a fair value gap there, so I have a bit more protection to the upside. And then we want to see this candle hold and drop lower without going to this upper area here. Again, seeing this body close in the lower half, that may cause a little scaling from my end. Perfect. So that's scaling. Stop loss is just above that high there. I don't want to see it push higher. If it does, then we are most likely wrong. And right now it's risk free. It's just it either drops or we go out close to break even. That was a nice closure there. I'm gonna scale in once more. Stop loss is above here, so I'm still at 0% risk. And assuming it hits target, that's going to be 500. And if it breaks me at even at 0, it's going to be 0. So that's the business. This goes well. It's going to be a good, hey bro, don't reverse all-time highs. Yeah, I know it's risky. That's why I'm managing my stop losses. But you're right, a lot of pain can happen trying to reverse. And it's just hitting this minor buy side here until it pushes higher. So, Asmin, I agree with you, man. I definitely agree with you on that. Hence, that's why my stop loss management is so tight. I'm currently 5 micros short here. I'm watching the mean threshold of this candle right here. I might scale out too. What I'm going to do a scale out here of, I'm going to remove 40%. Why? It's because I don't trust the downside. Once I get more subs, I'll definitely be doing free giveaways. There is a little quick buy there. Let's do one. And then technically, that's how we do it. Stop loss has been moved to break even. I have 2 contracts running. Hopefully we tag this sell side here. And we call it a day. Let's go a bit more, bit more. And there you go. Bam. And that's how we do it, guys. 1 loss and 1 win with scaling. So we're up technically 1R. And I only risked 50% on this one. I risked $70. So the short worked out. And all it is this is called, everybody, the lunchtime macro. Because I'm a good trader and I didn't have capital. So Asmin, there's a saying, you don't buy a lottery ticket, you can't win the lottery. Okay. Asmin, maybe in a couple of months, I'm going to be giving away free accounts every stream. But until then, need more viewership. So maybe once I hit 1,000 subs, I'll give away 5 free accounts. So Asmin, you better enter the draw, man. Negative, man. Negative. Negative. But I'll give you free analysis here. And technically today we're up $200. Across my 5 accounts, that's $1,000. All right. Apologies, guys. I'm going to eat. I'm really hungry. I had a busy morning. I didn't trade the open. We got some A&W today, sponsoring my fuel. But now what happened? We tried piercing above, right? 1 push, 2 push, 3 pushes higher above the 1 hour. We had an inversion here, which we took. to the downside. We scaled in aggressively. Minor sell side has been hit. And at this point, you have to ask yourself, what's going to happen next? And personally speaking, because we're at all-time highs, as Asman said, Asman, I'm glad you're the first viewer, man. but currently where we're at is we took out minor sell side, so 1, 2, 3, and we're at a point where if I were to take a short from here, I would not feel comfortable because it could have pushed lower, yes, but we're like there's this crazy bullish pressure. So right now, what I'm looking at is I'm looking at this fair value gap, and I'm seeing how we react to it, right? And I'm looking for clues on what price can possibly do today. If bodies close below the lower half, right? So something like this, we might push lower, but even if we do that, I'm not going to take that short. I'm like, to be honest, seeing some kind of, break to the upside of this reversal and using that as resistance, that might be like the next long higher. So if you're looking for a higher probable trade, this might be it. But we're going to have to couple it as well with time of day. So right now we are in lunchtime macro. And usually price did exactly this. It takes away from profitable traders because since the morning, we've been pushing to the upside. And what price needs to do now is show us what it wants to do next. But right now, I feel like we're in lower probabilities in terms of a clean move. And I'm just looking for breadcrumbs here on what can possibly support my next trade. Maybe if price does this to the upside and then it really fails to break it back to the downside, that could be an inversion. And we might try to take the 0.5% Fibonacci retracement from the 1 hour range from the morning, right? So we opened up and then you take the lowest low and the lowest high from 9:30 to 10:30. That's this right here. And then you basically project this forward. I think this is might be like the ultimate goal for the day. But mean threshold might be a good interim target to take, right? But again, like we're watching right now, right? We're not taking anything. We're watching price and we see what it wants to do. See how these bodies here are closing in the lower half, right? This is tipping its hand ever so slightly. Very little confluence that this fair value gap might be holding and price might go lower. But again, like what's below us? Sell side has been taken. There's this minor sell side here, which could be a draw, right? It's the first low after 10 o'clock, which I usually like to target in lunch times. But again, because of this major sweep here, a short from here, in my opinion, I think that's low probability. It can work out. Don't get me wrong. It's just long term. If you keep taking these trades, I don't think that just going to be for you. So. It's interesting. I've never streamed lunchtime before, but this is the lunchtime move. Like this is exactly what you wait for. The conditions are move generally to the upside for the first hour to 2 hours, and from 10:30 to 12:30, you're looking for pools of liquidity or the first low after 10 o'clock, and that's going to be your target after some kind of reversal. So here we had reversal 1. I got faked out. That was -1, and then we took a second reversal here, and it pushed lower. If anyone has any questions, hello, one viewer. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them. So, like, look at the bodies here. Look how they close and look how we pushed away from this area. Technically, if we're bearish, we don't want to see this come back up here. Like the moment it breaches mean threshold, I feel like that might be more of a 50-50, right? if you were still in this short, I'd probably drop my stop loss maybe to this high here. And once that breaks, it's over. But there should have been a strong partial done at these relative equal lows, this minor sell side here. It takes a lot of conviction and guts to short all-time highs. But in my opinion, when I look for clues on if it's going to be a continuation day or if it's going to be a chop day, the most important fair value gap here is going to be this one right here. Okay. This one right here. And the reason why is it's after we break that range, the first fair value gap that forms to the upside, that is basically my line in the sand. And if we were to break above it once again and we inverse it nicely, that is going to be, in my opinion, a high probability entry. So that's why I'm keeping that one. These ones I can delete. These ones I'm not crazy about. Or actually, let me leave this one here so individuals know where we scaled in. All right. All right, we can see here price after taking sell side is moving sideways, which means that objective has been taken, the interim objective, and right now price is deciding what it wants to do next. Again, we create these relative equal lows here. Like this low has never been taken, right? That's minor sell side. Prices laying candles bottom half of this fair value gap, and we're going to see what it wants to do here. But again, that could have been the low there. That could have been the low of the launch, and it just starts printing higher. If this is gonna hold, it's gonna push to these relative equal lows here, and it's gonna grab liquidity once some more of what it just generated. But again, not high probability. In my opinion, I would stay away from this short if you're thinking about it, because all-time highs, liquidity taken, this is low probability setup. So I would not be looking at this as a short. We want to see something to the upside, even like breaking this and using this. That might be a nice long. Okay. So here's sell side here. You see how these bodies here are not even entering the next quadrant of this fair value gap? This indicates weakness. But it alone is not strong enough for the confluence factors. This is candle by candle tape reading at this point. Next trade, I'm probably going to do a full risk again of $250, and we're going to see if we can do like a nice 3-to-1 and close the day off at $1,000 per account. If we get something nice from now till 12:30. But sometimes the moves happen at 1:30. That's when the afternoon session starts. So it's all about time and then price, right? First time, then price. All this happened during the macro, guys. Look at that. Macro. High probability. This one was technically just outside of the macro, which I like to trade. I was wrong. Created more liquidity, and then it came again for the next sweep. So do not let your analysis fool you. So the bodies here are really struggling to break above this fair value gap. Usually when I see price touch something 3 times, like this, 1, 2, 3, that's when you want it to go. But if it keeps doing that, then that's something that you have to kind of be wary of. So the third touch right here, this is kind of like the last touch that I want to see. This is where you want to see that meltdown to sell side liquidity here and maybe sell side liquidity here. But again, if it's going to be a bullish day and it's going to be, we don't want to see New York's first presentation breaking to the downside. The moment it does this, to be honest, this might not be a continuation day. So that's my line in the sand there of taking trades. Again, you have minor sell side here below us. These relative equal lows, never taken. So to be honest, price may do that. And if it does that, what I'll be looking for, and I'll give you guys a little hint here. I will be looking, let's say in the afternoon session, which I don't think I'll be trading because I'll be out. But if you see this break to the downside and use as an inversion, that might be a strong PD array to push lower. Okay. So keep that in mind. But as of right now, we are sidelined. All-time highs. We're technically bullish. Everything about, if I look at the daily, it's looking very bullish. Something that I'm going to drop onto the one here is this right here. Okay. These lines are yesterday's daily wick high. Okay. So you can see a lot of sensitivity to the mean threshold here. Like, look at this. Mean threshold, mean threshold, mean threshold, all these bounces off mean threshold, right? So really good confluence factors when it comes to trading in general using daily wick highs. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you guys a different view here. So this is yesterday's, if you look at my top right here, this is yesterday's daily candle. And that's the wick there. So what you want to do is you want to grade it and transpose that to the 1 minute. And as you can see here, look how nicely price has been respecting. It respects all the quadrants, but mean threshold is usually the one that I like the most. Okay. So very, very nice respecting. All right. There's a bit of, that's something that you guys can use for your trading for the future. Something that I really like. All right, we're getting a bit more movement now. But look at this, guys. Things like this throw me off a lot when it comes to taking a position long, for example. If you were, the reason why is price right now, just looking at it, it kind of created liquidity below us, and it's still sitting within this bearish fair value gap that it hasn't broke to the upside yet. So this technically is sell side. Looking at ES, so there's, you know, SMT with ES that happened. Okay, good to know. So SMT took that low, so NQ is technically stronger here because it hasn't. But again, still seen as sell side, regardless of SMT or not. Sell side liquidity. Sell side's about to be taken here. This fair value gap is going to be very important. This one right here. The reason why, man, these arrows are just not turning out. They keep sticking. This is going to be an important fair value gap because it's being respected, and it's the best respected fair value gap in the past. It happened during the macro at 1105. So again, something that I'm watching out for. And I'm just watching how, and if this breaks to the upside, again, that's a confluence factor that this might be the bottom, might be continuing up, but I really hope we kind of drive lower, do a bit more damage, and then start pushing up. Leaving things like this, targets for later, not a fan. And you can see right now, like, it's not right. It's not the right time of day. We're between our macros. It's lunchtime. Look what price is at over the last 20 minutes. It just moved sideways. So if you guys aren't profitable, if you guys are struggling with profitability, in my opinion, just pick the right trading times. This was a nice trade from 950 to 1010. Look, price moved in a direction during this time. Price moved during a direction in this time. It's a 20-minute window, guys. Just focus all your trading within there. Just add 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after, and that's your golden window trading of opportunity where price is. It might consolidate, but the chance of consolidating is a lot lower. If you guys are enjoying the stream, feel free to drop me a like and a follow. That would give me data that will be pushing lower. Look at that. Sell side liquidity here taken. The sell side liquidity at 10 a.m. low. Let's see that being tagged. That's the next level that it should move towards. And then at that point, we're going to be at an area where maybe somewhere here, we might get price turning around if it's going to be a continuation day. Again, don't want to see it kind of go below the opening range gap high. Don't want to see it break the first presentation, because if it starts doing that, then that's giving us the direction that it's probably going to go lower. And I'm really liking pre-930 lows. Like, this is sell side that has not been taken yet. Lunch, right? We got relative equal lows here from Asia, right? Again, I look for smooth lows, and all this here, this is all liquidity being ready to take in. So if you guys are short on longer term targets and you're looking for some kind of draw, that will be the draw. But as of right now, we can't shift our bias to the downside yet. I feel like we don't have enough. Higher time frames, like 5 minute, create a shift of the market to the downside, but we're trading at all-time highs. So the rule of thumb is we cannot have a strong short bias at all-time highs unless you're ICT. But to be honest, that's why I cut this one so short, because, you know, could this be a possible trade, like a 15-1? It could have been, but at all-time highs, low probability. I'll probably say 20% chance. And you have to keep your mental health and psyche healthy, and you can't keep taking L's. So you got to take your quick wins and kind of really understand where we are at with the market. There's going to be a million trading opportunities today, tomorrow. So there should be no FOMO. Okay. Price, you can see here, this candle right here. Let me blow this up a bit more. We pushed into this bearish order block here, pushed lower. Price is creating wicks to the downside. Again, this is 1 minute consolidation here. I'm expecting that we consolidate and we take the sell side liquidity here, right? Relative equals lows left. Let's see ES quickly, what ES is doing. I'm not sure where that low is. I think it's that low. But you can see here, ES is interesting. It's below its opening price today. So again, it took out these relative equal highs early on. It never broke. This is interesting. It never broke London's high, but NQ did. So NQ is a lot more bullish than ES today. If you are shorting, technically, the shorts should have been more profitable on ES. All right, let's go back to NQ here. All right. On the 15-minute chart, this is a fair value gap on the 15-minute chart. In 14 minutes, the candle's going to close. That's going to give us some insight. But this may have been the pullback. I'm not expecting this sell side to be taken, right? But I'm liking that we took this one right here. And right now I want to see price show us that it wants to continue pushing higher maybe. Again, maybe by 1150, we might get a move to the upside, right? The macro. But we're watching this to the upside. Buy side above us, right? Relative equal lows. They were rejecting this fair value gap, but again, you can see that as minor buy side above us. I'm not going to mark it. But again, no. Yeah. Right. Okay. So we're going back into this bearish SIBI. And this is interesting here. So we're starting to see that it's starting to finally break. Created sell side, it dropped aggressively below. Here is, technically a bullish order block. Right? So bullish order block to the downside, taking out sell side liquidity, the break above it, and then kind of what we want to see, and it's 11:30, but we want to see price starting to kind of create footholds higher. So let's see if it has the strength here to break above this here. But like, let's say assume it does and it goes back lower. Where would it make sense to have your stop loss? If we were going long, again, at 2-1, that's a fairly large position. Body closed, close to mean threshold here. Not that I'm looking at this long here, but I'm looking at like if price, like where would I have my stop loss that would keep it relative. But I think something like this might work out. 2.6 to 1. 5-minute looks like it created its low. Bodies are still closing in the lower half here. If I'm not ultra confident about this position like I was in the short here, we're not going to take it. We're not going to take it. Again, it's a very bad time for trading. Like it's 11:30 here. We're still in lunch. But I might drop off in the next 5 minutes here. I'll see how we react to this. But I want to see it break to the upside. And if we see it inverting nicely, we might be targeting the next, buy side liquidity, which is going to be right here. That's where it's going to be. Right now, the bodies here are you can see here, this body right here, it's going to close in 36 seconds, but let's see if it wants to push down and then close in the upper half here. That's going to be the first indication that this might be a failing PD array, and it's going to have inversion properties where it starts taking price higher. So we're looking at little small breadcrumbs here. But you can see here, again, bodies are still staying in the lower half here. So it's still holding up as a bearish PD array. And this is not something that you want to take a long off of yet, okay? But still, let's see what the 1 hour is doing. So let's look at the time frames here. So 4 hour. This is the 4 hour. So it's bullish. It's created a bullish candle for the last, couple of 4 hour blocks, like since the last day. The 1 hour, again, it's a bit hard to see because I have the 1 minute indications here. But the 1 minute, you can see here, massive push high. And right now we are pushing, lower. We came down here. There's still technically going to be a fair value gap here at the hour that forms. But maybe this might be let's call it the instant rebalance. And then if it closes in the upper half, then that's going to be a very bullish 1 hour candle. From a 15-minute perspective, you can see here, we technically, again, this could be that pullback there. We never hit sell side here. There's still an open fair value gap. If we never trade to it, it could be a breakaway gap. And then the 5 minute here, again, not much information. I'm not crazy about the 5 minute, but just looking at the 1 minute here, seeing what it gives us. Okay. All the bodies are still staying within the lower half. And then, oops, let's see what it wants to do here. Technically, I'll have my stop right there. Let me look at the 15-second chart. So I'm going to start diving a bit lower here. And this is going to be something like I'll be taking it to mean threshold. So what level is that? To be honest, 2,900. That might be the next draw. We're very close to it. So the first body closed above here, right? Giving us bullish indication that it might go up. And let's see if price wants to close above it and then use it as inversion here. But technically, shift in market structure, sell side taken once, twice. Again, that might have been the low of the lunchtime. So just waiting here if price goes up and pushes higher. I'm still not in a position. Again, I think 1150 might be where a long may be taken. But again, this right here, consolidation. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. And I will be back soon. Actually, hold on. You might miss the move if I do that. So let's let's wait to see what price wants to do here. If it's going to respect this and it's going to do something like this, stream's over for today. We're done. Okay. That's something I do not want to see, because then it's just going to be consolidation and technically just does not want to invert this to push to the upside. So what I'm going to be anticipating for the lunch after it does something like this, it's going to be probably doing this. And then I'll be waiting for 130 to take that long. So let's see what it wants to do here. I'm not interested if it pushes lower. Once it breaks this, the day is over. And the moment this body closes, we'll close it off for today. But I feel like this here is not PA that we want to trade right now. So guys, to be honest, the push higher, in my opinion, it's not going to happen now. I think it's going to happen a bit later. Sell side below us. And on that note, guys, take care. If you guys enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like, and I'll catch you guys maybe tomorrow, pre 9:30. Safe trading, and talk soon.